Okay, so you are going to get a little inside peek into one of our She Sells team meetings because Laura Grabavoy, who has been an amazing, amazing member of our community for years now, and has actually recently come on as VP of Business Development, and she's going to be helping in other roles within the company too. She and I were talking about this new program that we're kicking off this week called Meet the Million Dollar You. And I got so inspired by listening to her talk about what she knows people are going to experience as they go through this program. And I thought, okay, I just need to hit record during this part and share it because Laura, you've been on the journey, you've had your own version of this transformation. And I think your perspective is so powerful. So share, if you will literally share what you were just sharing with me about why you're so excited for the members of our community who are going to be coming in and joining us in this 8-week Meet the Million Dollar You experience coming up.
I am so excited. The honor of really investing in yourself, the women that get to invest in this program with the $1 million version of you. And it's 8 weeks of being in your energy, learning the principles around this. What a great opportunity for women to be able to invest in this. To me, I paid way more money to invest in your program, and how you are just opening this up is amazing to me. And what a privilege women have that are coming into this. And I'm so excited to see what they'll get out of the program, for one, and really connecting with that $1 million version of themselves and the possibilities of how women are going to really transform through this 8 weeks. I am so super excited to be able to to see this and witness this and be a part of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It gets really exciting when and this was the language that came up before when you and I were talking about it, like when you let yourself rise to this level, because I think so often not so often, always, we're the ones who say, oh, that's too much, or that's thinking too big, or I don't deserve it, or I'm not worth it. And there is a level of needing to give yourself permission to say, yes, I am ready. And I think when I think about the perfect person for this program who's going to really have a lot of success, it's someone they have a much bigger vision for their career. They could be an entrepreneur, they could be a sales professional. And I love that you've been talking about how women can come in and expand, because most of our audience is women. I think part of what's cool about this program, which I probably haven't even shared with you, is like, we're actually opening this up to men as well. So we've had so many men in the audience come in and say, hey, when are you going to have something for me? So this is open to all. You don't have to be at a certain level yet either, but all you need to know is there is a calling on your life to do something much bigger. And a lot of times it's something bigger than we saw modeled growing up. It may be bigger than what we see the people around us doing. And there's a certain level of expansion that you are ready for, that you're ready to experience. And so I think the money is just a benchmark. I think that's part of what's fun with this, because and I'll have you speak to this in a minute, like the personal transformation is actually the real prize. That's been, I think, my experience and probably yours as well, in giving yourself permission to say yes to this. But we're going to be doing an 8-week really immersive deep dive journey, very similar to what I take my private coaching clients on who pay over 6 figures, to connecting with the mindset, the energetics, and then also the tactical action steps that they can take to scale to 7 figures and beyond, which is exciting. So what would you say to that as someone who's been on this journey? You came in, you doubled your income within 6 months of being in our community and saying yes to yourself. Like, I know you did the work. I think that's something that's important. Anytime you're enrolling in a coaching program, whether it's ours or somebody else's, like, you got to know you're the one who's got to do the work. But what has empowered you to have such quantum leaps when you've been in our community doing these programs? And what do you think, speak a little bit to that in the context of this program. If someone's like, yeah, I'm ready for a quantum leap, like I'm ready to meet the $1 million version of myself, what do they need to know in order to get there through this 8-week journey?
The biggest transformation for me is trusting myself and knowing that I have the answers inside. And
Mm,
so for me, I invested in the program because I thought it was going to, I felt very called. I felt I felt impacted just from one call with you. And I had asked you a question about how do I feel better when so many people have hurt me? Because I knew in order to really manifest what I wanted, I needed to be in touch with my emotions. And I knew at the time my emotions were very heavy and I had a lot of things that I was working through and I was looking outside of myself. I would be buy this program, do this, do that. And so, or, but I took a chance on myself and I knew from the time that we talked that you were sharing something different because you told me something that not anybody had ever told me to look inside of myself to feel better. And right there, I went on a journey to really just invest in myself to really understand what that meant. And your program really does that to learn to trust ourselves, learn to look within for what we want, and really go after bigger and stop playing small. So I so appreciate that. And I want other people to really meet that inside, what their desires and wants of that $1 million person. It's there. And I love how you just bring it out in people. And
mm.
the fact that you're doing this in an 8-week program is so incredible. And I'm so happy that you're doing this and so excited to see men and women really just to transform.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's going to be so powerful. And I think that piece that you shared about trusting yourself is so important because if you're a big thinker, which I know you are, I am, members of our community are, there's usually not a lot of people around you telling you, oh, yeah, you can do it. Or, oh, yeah, that's possible. Usually we're surrounded by people who say, oh, you think too big, you dream too big, or our own limiting voices in our heads can say, who are you to want that? Or think you could be number one or have more. And so it's so important to trust that your desires are green lights and that desire for more. Like if this is resonating, then you need to move forward on that and take action on that because this will be the next step in your soul's expansion, right? And in your career expansion too. We go deep in our programs. We talk all the things, business, career, soul, all of it. But I think the other thing that's so important for people to know is like making more and meeting the $1 million version of you does not mean working harder. And I think this is really important. And this is where we pull in we work on both masculine and feminine energetics in our programs, which doesn't mean male and female per se, but feminine energetics is about attaching to the vision. It's about the quantum leap. It's about alignment. It's not about just keep doing more of the same and hustle harder. I think we've all been in the hustle culture. We've experienced that. It leads to burnout, exhaustion, overwhelm, depletion. So I truly believe, having been on this journey myself, it is easier to make 7 figures than it is to make 6, but you got to know how to align with it. And that's the key. And it's about stretchy, expansive action, not just more hustle action. So I work less than I used to and make more. I think you can probably, I haven't asked you this, but you probably say the same. I'm guessing you work less and make more.
Yeah, I had no
Right?
idea what the feminine energy was about because, and then again, when I was very, very successful doing well with the masculine energy, which is it's about giving, it's about strategic, it's about really being, going after what I want, which is good. Those are good things. I just didn't have the balance of the feminine. And it was really hard for me it was really hard to receive
Mm,
because of different things that I had experienced and stuff inside of me. And so, and then not only receiving, but that I could use my creative side. I could play and have fun. And, sometimes I would get mad at some of the people in my office, like, why are they playing? Like, focus and work. And it's like, whoa, like, no, that's actually where a lot of the creativity and where a lot of yeah, that's where it makes it fun and easier and where it's not pushing hard and forcing. And when you do that, you miss a lot of things. If you can have a balance of it is really where the magic happens.
yeah. It's so true. It's so true. So that's something that I think is so important for someone to know also going on this journey is like, it gets to be easy. You achieving your quantum leap gets to be easy. And so that's what we're going to be really doing is supporting those of you who feel called to step into this $1 million version of yourself and get clarity on what is your life like at that level? What is your career like at that level? What is your vision like at that level? Because sometimes we need some help with clarity on that. You may just be sitting here thinking, gosh, I'd love to do that. I have no idea what it looks like, but I know it's speaking to me. That's cool. If you, whether you've got a clear vision already or not, our very first step is getting clarity on the vision. Who are you? What is life like? What is business and career like at this level? And then we're going to take you on a journey of helping you actually transform into the person who has that result. So it's going to be so beautiful and powerful. We combine the masculine strategic how-to tactical with the feminine energetics that allow you to get there far faster and easier. And it's going to be really, really beautiful. So Laura, any final words of wisdom to someone who's like, oh, it sounds really good. I'm maybe afraid to invest in myself, or I just invested in coaching, or I've got a lot going on. What would you say to someone who is saying that?
I'd say I could relate. I know I'd experienced the same thoughts and feelings, and I look back at myself and I would have invested way more than I did at the time. So the fact that you're even opening this program at the cost of what it is, I urge people to really take advantage of it, because you're going to get so much more than you really think or imagine out of it. And that's what I experienced when I invested in myself with it. So excited for people to participate in this.
Yeah, amazing. Well, if you are watching this and this impromptu conversation has spoken to you, you can go to elisearcher.com/$1 million and get yourself registered. We will be raising the price of this in the future. So this is the lowest you'll ever be able to get in for, most likely into this program. So elisearcher.com/$1 million. I'd love to have you if it's speaking to you and if you're ready to meet the $1 million version of yourself. See you inside the program.